Hey, good morning, my friends. I just came across a article that is from the Guardian, and it's basically pointing out that well over 50% of the mental health advice that's given out on social media platforms, particularly things like TikTok, is actually completely misleading and incorrect information. And if you know anything about me, I'm an avid researcher of all things mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually as well, as much as you can research spiritual stuff because it's difficult to put that in journals. In my research and what I see on social media and even on platforms with speakers is actually misinformation, sometimes even more harmful than good. And I've kind of voiced out about that stuff before in the past. But I just want to make sure that we understand that a lot of the information we're seeing out there, particularly with mental health and how the body operates and how healing is supposed to come, is completely misleading information. It's inaccurate in many ways. And this needs to be pointed out. Why is it inaccurate and why is it misleading? Well, because a majority of them are doing the status quo. They're simply repeating what they learned from someone else rather than seeing it in clinical practice. They may even be repeating what others have told them to do in order to maximize profits. Another big thing. I've shared that before in the past. I've seen people say, well, you heal trauma with supplements and this and that. Yes, things are important for brain health, right? But supplements do not heal the trauma. Supplements don't heal the unknowing, the uncertainty, the internal conflicts going on when a person has certain personality traits that lead to tremendous tension and pressurization in their body. Supplements don't solve that. You need something else. You need a very thorough approach in understanding what the nervous system is saying to the person's body. A recent conversation I had with a functional medicine doctor, I said, I don't run any lab work. I'm more concerned about the person, how the person feels. Is their brain in a state of, yes, I'm safe, or is their brain in a state of, something must be totally wrong with me? And the more things you're doing, trying to correct markers, the more things you're trying to do to make sure you are living healthy, the more steps you're taking, the more supplements you're doing, the more you're analyzing everything going on in your life to get healthy, actually the more your brain is understanding the meaning that something is really wrong with me, something's broken, something's not right, I need to be fixed. When a brain feels like it needs to be fixed in any way, the brain is going to create an illness. Why? Because it feels like it needs to be fixed. When a person realizes there's nothing to get fixed, it's just your brain is in a threat response. Your brain is perceiving danger. When a person realizes there's actually nothing wrong with them, and they don't think it cognitively and cerebrally, but they feel it viscerally, they start to feel that nothing is wrong with me. My brain just needs messages of safety. Their symptoms start to diminish and eventually disappear. It's absolutely amazing. But a lot of the misleading information out there that's going on social media, on viral reels and everything is misleading. Let's not look at the viral, what do you call them, viral sound bites, the things that are real catchy, the snappy phrases of, get healed in these 3 steps. Let's dial it down and look at it at a more realistic view of what is the nervous system conveying with the person? What is the person actually feeling within themselves? Does their brain feel safe? Does their brain feel, because that's the primary role of your nervous system, protecting and keeping you alive? Does it feel safe or does it not feel safe? Let's start there. And that's where real healing starts to take place. Real healing starts to take place when a person realizes their brain is essentially, their brain is in sensing danger from whatever it may be. And the danger is initially making the stress hormones flood the body continuously over and over and over. and keeping inflammation around much longer than it should be. And essentially, the brain can create all kinds of different symptoms in the body that a person might not even think of, that are simply a brain's response to feeling like it's in danger or feeling like there's a threat. Just a simple example of this: many people have had the experience of having a phone vibrate in their pocket. They're sitting somewhere, or maybe they're driving a car, or they're at a restaurant, and they feel their phone vibrating in their pocket, and they reach down to grab the phone. The phone's not even in that pocket. What happened? It was a hallucinogenic effect. The brain created something that wasn't there. Okay, it wasn't really there. The feeling was there, the sensation was very real, but it was just something your brain actually created because there's a good chance you've carried that phone in that pocket for a long time. That's how quickly the brain can learn and create sensations in the body that can feel sometimes like symptoms. Stomach pain, aches and pains in the back, neck pain, migraines, even kidney stones. These all have a predictability to them about the brain creating them when the brain is in danger. So what's the correction? How do you fix it? Bunch of lab work, bunch of supplements, bunch of protocols, bunch of acupuncture, bunch of sitting out and meditating in the sun, which I'm not against. I'm not against any of those things. But the real thing is the transformation has to take place when a person realizes the symptoms they're having are messengers and not enemies. They're messengers that something doesn't feel right with the brain. And when a person starts to convey safety to themselves, which we will cover, I will start to let's go for what's deeper. Let's go for really what healing is. I'm going to start sharing that with you in these videos about exactly what I mean by conveying safety to the brain, how to know you're doing it right, how do you know that you're on the right path, and what kinds of things can you expect while you're going through this process of actually healing, not masking, not covering, not ignoring, actually addressing symptoms for what they are. Messages from brain saying the brain feels in danger. So whenever a person starts to go through that process, there's many things that have to take place, and I will cover all those. Okay, I will cover those in upcoming videos. Expect to see much more of this and get much more answers for actually how to resolve things, not these little viral sound bites that sound good, have some kind of hidden agenda behind it. And like this Guardian article points out, so many of them are misleading, so many of them are inaccurate, and so many of them actually can create a worse circumstance because they are teaching people that there's actually something wrong with them, when there's nothing wrong with you at all. There's nothing wrong with you at all. You may feel broken, but it's because your brain feels like something is wrong. The minute we can change that, the minute everything else starts to change and improve.